Hey guys, and welcome to another block spotlight. And this is a bit of a revisit because I have looked at this block before, but there seemed to have been a little confusion about how you actually set it up and power it, and I thought it was probably best to just redo the video so that people could see exactly how it's set up if they were under any illusions. And that is the pulverizer. Now, since I last looked at it, there's been an extra couple of tabs on the left hand side, but I'm going to go over the whole thing just so that you don't have to watch my previous video to understand what's going on. Okay, so to start with, we have on this left hand side we have a power bar. Now this is where all your Buildcraft power is stored. Now Buildcraft power means power that comes from an engine or one of these redstone energy cells. It's engine power, so you need an engine to get that power in there, which I'll show you in a little bit. This square here I think initially was intended to be used for upgrades, but is pretty much obsolete now, and I think is going to get removed at some point when they get around to updating the mod to take that out. This here is the input slot, the blue. Now with all the thermal expansion machines you'll find that blue tends to mean input. I think it's blue, purple and green are the three input colours, and the output colours are red, yellow and orange, which is a combined red and yellow. So this top tab, this is a tab that tells you how much power it's going to use, and it will tell you how much it's using at that moment. It will tell you the maximum power that it can use and also how much power it has stored. Now the redstone control, you basically can toggle between ignoring the redstone signal completely, being turned on when it hasn't got a signal, and being turned on when it has got a signal. So you have your three options there. It defaults to not requiring a redstone signal at all, which means that if you apply a lever to it, or apply a signal in any way, it will turn off. So you can use a lever to control it if that's what you want to do. The bottom tab is the configuration tab. Now this one will let you pick exactly how you want it to react to pipes and tubes and other methods of getting your goodies inside your input and your output, how you want to deal with that. Now this will automatically eject into an adjacent inventory, which means if you have a chest against one of these output slots, it will automatically be filled up by this block. That means you will not need a wooden pipe with a redstone engine to get stuff out. A standard pipe will work fine. So how this works, if you have a look at your block from the front, this corresponds exactly. So you have your left hand side, your right hand side, your top, your bottom, and this block in the corner here, that's the back, which corresponds there. And as you can see, when you actually look at the block in the world, you've actually got these coloured squares on the sides. That will tell you exactly how it works, or how it's set up. So I said earlier, the blue is the input and the yellow and red are outputs. So you can see your input in on the left hand side, and you're going to get your output on the top and the side. You could also input the back. Now this little interface here will allow you to change that. So if you left click, you'll cycle forward through the different combinations. If you right click, you will cycle backwards. So if for instance you wanted to have a combined output on the top and the bottom, and combined inputs on the left side and the back, you can do that. If you wanted to output out the back with the combined and not input on the top or bottom, you can do that as well. So now we're inputting on the left and we're outputting out the back. And as I said, because the graphic updates in the world, you can quickly look at your block and see exactly how it's set up, which is a really useful little mechanic. Now the new tabs since I last looked at this block are over on this left hand side, and that basically tells you what this machine does. So here you can see it smashes things into other things, and it's useful for processing ores or converting items. So there are a number of different things that we can use this for. You will mainly use it initially to process your ores. And then the tutorial question mark here. The redstone control tab configures how this device reacts to redstone signals. As I said, the configuration tab determines how items enter and leave the device, which I just explained as well, and it requires Minecraft joules to operate, and that seems to have been the confusing part for people on my last video. So what I'll do first is I'll explain how you make this block, and then we'll go over how it's set up. So here we have the redstone reception coil. That's you're going to need that for most of the thermal expansion machines that require buildcraft power. The machine frame you make like this, you for glass, for iron and a gold bar, and that again is a staple component of most thermal expansion machines. And the recipe I believe has changed slightly since I last looked at it. We've got a piston on the top, copper, couple of flint, and then your reception coil and your machine frame gives you your pulverizer. So it's not particularly expensive. There is quite a bit involved there. You're going to need a few different ores before you can make it, but it's very early game stuff. Now as for how you power it, now you can use one of these redstone energy cells, and you would be able to throw that all the way down to 4 MJ as your maximum output, because the maximum this will use is 4, so you can stick that right next to it like that. Because it needs 4, a good choice of engine would be a magmatic engine, which we have here. You can put that straight onto the back of the machine, and that will produce as much power as this uses per operation. So it's a fairly decent choice for an engine for the pulverizer to start with, assuming you have access to lava. The other way you can use it as well, you can plug it into a conduit system, which again you would have hooked up to engines. You could also use conductive pipes, which you may be more used to. So you could have conductive pipe go into another engine here, for instance. That would work as well. So the only engine that I wouldn't recommend trying to use with this is the redstone engine. You'll need to use something a bit stronger than that, because of the power requirements. It's just not going to happen if you use something as low power as that. So there you go. That's how you power it. Now, hopefully there'll be no more questions about how you power it. Now, the recipes, what can we do in here? Well, stone will go down to cobble, and if you look in NEI, and actually if you click on the arrow here, you can actually see it will show you the recipes, and there's 37, so some of them have secondary outputs, as you can see here. So when you process cobble, you'll get sand and a 10% chance for some gravel. Gravel, you'll get your flint. Glass, you'll get sand back. So that's a way to reverse your smelted sand to glass. You can turn stone bricks into cracked stone bricks for a very small amount of power. That is quite handy. You can turn your sandstone into sand with some chance to get niter. Now, niter itself you can use to make gunpowder with some coal and some sulfur, so that it has its uses, but you may not necessarily want that as a main thing to go for. That wouldn't be why you smelt sandstone, for instance. Smelt it, pulverize it, and the rest of the sandstones do the same thing, and they don't give you back all your sand because I think you need 4 sand to make each of those. Obsidian, we'll go down to pulverized obsidian, which you're going to need to make hardened glass later on, and a few other things. It's mainly hardened glass you'll be using that for. It has also has uses, I think, in railcraft with some of the stuff there. Netherrack, we'll go to cobble with chance of some sulfur, and then you have your ores will process down to. Now you'll notice that it doesn't take a lot of power to process these down, but you're also only getting one out of each thing, so you might be better off trying to use a fortune pick instead of pulverizing them. Exception seems to be lapis. You get a lot of lapis and a lot of redstone out of each ore block. You can turn that into wood chips. Why you would quite need wood chips, I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the recipe for that. You can turn wood chips into paper, so this would be a very easy way of getting paper as well. Today I learned. I didn't know that. So you can do that. Sugar, you can get double out of each sugar cane. 6 bone meal. So as you can see, if you just go through here, there are a lot of different ways of processing your ores to get some. Now, as you can see, if you do copper, you've got a chance of getting gold, and it should work with pretty much all of the different coppers. Tins, you've got a chance of getting iron. Silver, you've got a chance of getting lead, and I think probably lead, you have a chance of getting silver. Ferrous ore, you have a chance of getting shiny metal. So lots and lots of different recipes. You can get your charcoal dust, sulfur, lots and lots of different things that you can do. As much as you would expect something to work in the macerator, you can probably expect it to work in the pulverizer as well. So hopefully that has answered a few more of the questions that were floating around with this block, particularly in my on my other video, which hopefully you've been redirected from. If not, this should cover everything that I covered in that video as well. So thanks for watching. I hope this has been a little bit more informative than the last one. Hit the sub button if you've enjoyed it, liked it as well. Also check out my Twitch and Twitter. Lots of good stuff happening on my Twitch account every night, 7 till 1. So we'll see you next time.